to Port City Uncensored. This week brought to you by BarkBox, a monthly surprise box of toys, treats, and unleashed joy for your dog. And now, let's kick this show into gear.
Greetings. Hello, everyone. Port City Uncensored, coming to you live from Midtown Stockton from the Bat Cave. I'm your host, J-Man Jack. And joining me, we got Scotty, Tuhawti, and Mr. Alex. What's going on, guys?
How's it going?
What's up, guys?
Hey, well, kind of a somber mood kind of show tonight. Pretty much this week for what happened last Saturday. The city's still kind of reeling from it all, and it is what it is. But as I said before, we hear about these kind of things happening pretty much on a regular basis now, and usually it's in another city somewhere else. And well, Thanksgiving weekend, it came to Stockton, and for what we know so far, not much has changed. They haven't arrested anybody, and the victims, were identified, and I'm not going to go over the names and pictures because that's been all over social media, and families are dealing with funeral expenses and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna let that lie where it is. But a lot of people angry, a lot of people pissed off. The long and short of it is they haven't made any arrest, and from what came out of the early screenshots on Instagram, that's pretty much what the story is. This all resulted from a beef, between these rappers and these gangbangers, and wound up taking the lives of several kids, and not cool. And So anyway, Scotty, what's your take? You've been out and about, around town here last few days. What's the vibe you're getting from people?
Paranoia. Pretty much you don't really feel safe. Or I'll picture this, right? Alex, pretend I'm Alex, right? Pretend Alex wasn't in Florida. Pretend Alex was in Stockton, and I'm Alex. And I wake up and I get my coffee, my Batman coffee mug, and my Star Wars pajamas, right? And I go to get my mail outside, and then a
To
bullet
be fair,
flies
I
out of nowhere.
have all of those actually.
I know that's a very perfect example because it's like you're just a regular average Joe, just going out to get his his mail, right? Because it's like you don't expect to wake up in the morning to go out and get your coffee, and then you're fucking you find a bullet casing or a bullet hole in your window, and you're like, what the fuck? How'd that get there? And then you turn on the news all and that there's like a recent drive by. And I'm using this as an example because it's like this. You don't have to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's more like you can be anywhere and still get fucking shot. So the case in point being is I believe for the recent events that just transpired, I think what I was just talking about, a guy said it happened just to him, is that his window to his house got shot, and it was because of the drive by that happened. And I'm like, "Oh my god, that's terrifying." Because it's like, what if someone was sleeping by that window, right? It's like bullets ricochet. Here's the thing. I'm not a firearms expert, but if there's one thing I know about guns, it's that the bullets gotta travel somewhere if it doesn't hit the target, right? So if it flies through an object and that object is a very delicate material, such as like a glass wall, that bullet's still going to penetrate. And guess what? It's still going to keep flying until it loses velocity, its momentum, and it just like hits the floor. But the point is that it's going to keep penetrating. People forget the bullets don't just stop. It's going to ricochet or penetrate through the walls, and people can still be victims of that. And I find that that's terrifying because it's like you can just be at home minding your own business, not even going anywhere, and you can get hit in the arm. It's like, what the hell does that come from? It's like a bullet ricocheted, a shrapnel. It just happened to hit you, right?
Yeah.
So that's the feeling, is that people don't feel safe going anywhere in Stockton, do pretty much anything, because you can die doing anything. You can die. You can get shot at the mall, get shot at the gas station, shot going to McDonald's, get shot at a birthday party. You can quite literally get shot doing fucking anything that's mundane to the average citizen's life. And to some people that are outside of Stockton, that live in far less crazy cities, they're like, "Are you insane? That I'm just living my average life and I can just become a victim of crime." So that's the feeling, Jack. It's like it's instability. It's unstable.
Yeah. On that note, oh, by the way, let's welcome Shoua Low to the
Ua,
stream.
ua, loa, my
Uh,
favorite kung fu master.
and but yeah, on that note, okay, so the birthday party shooting was on Saturday, and I believe it was Tuesday. We had to drive by on Gertrude Street, and two people were shot, and the one female, she wound up dying. So this just happening, a couple days after the weekend, and the funny thing is, it turns out, and I remember this case from 2017. She was involved in a DUI incident with her sister, who wound up dying over that, and they were like live streaming and driving around. And so, anyway, she caught the bullet the other night, and she's no longer with us. And so, I mean, some people saying, "Oh, well, karma comes around. She got hers, whatever." And yeah, but the interesting thing about that particular shoot is it was literally almost right next to whatchamacallit, the Franklin High School. And there was a soccer game going on at the time. So once again, we've got a bad situation close to school grounds, and kids and whatnot. So yeah, so I just wanted to point that out. But anyway, Shua, how are you doing?
Good, good. I was having an issue. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
All right. Nice to see you guys on. How things? I'm good.
How are things? Well, unless you've been living under a rock for the last week, I shouldn't. It's kind of obvious. Things suck. Um, to be perfectly honest with you, and yeah, people ask me about it, and if I was surprised, and this is one that I had to actually think about, and my honest answer is no, no, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, prior to last weekend, we were at 33 for homicide number, and
I think there's a lot of
so
background noise.
yeah, I think.
Oh, there
Okay,
you go. Nice.
is that from Shua's end?
I think so. Yeah, I think someone's like cleaning stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let him figure it out, and he can jump on again. But anyway, yeah. What I was
You said
saying
you
is,
weren't. You said you weren't surprised.
no, because well, first of all, we've had 33 murders so far this year, and they may have been okay, one person at a time getting shot. Consider those like retail transactions. What happened Saturday was a wholesale deal. All right. But either way, okay, guns were involved and people wound up dying over it. And so that, and plus the fact that, and I think I pointed this out on one of the other streams we did last week, is that I got to Stockton here in what, 94. Okay, things were bad then. And yeah, things have not changed. And, so we're looking at a huge period of time that at least what I've witnessed here. And also, on a personal note, I can add to that, having spent 7 years as a road agent for the coroner's office and, bagging and tagging bodies and homicide cases. I picked up probably 95% of all of that over a 7-year period. I don't know if any of you guys ever attended an autopsy. I've seen quite a few. And I've seen the young gangbangers who got shot, right out in front of their front door. I've seen the multiple people that get shot in a garage, just hanging out, trying to have a party or something, and some guys drive by, bang, 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 shoot up the place, and you've got a room riddled with holes and people dead. Drive-bys, all kinds of shit. And it all happened right here on the streets of this city. All right. So based on all of that, would I be surprised at what happened on Saturday? Not really. Not really. And yeah, it's a shame. It's sad, et cetera, et cetera. I get all that. All right. But, if you had to pick any city from at least around here, if I was living in Pleasanton or San Ramon, yeah, it'd probably be a surprise. Big fucking surprise. Stockton or even Oakland, other places, same thing. And like I pointed out, there was also a shooting in San Jose in a mall. Several people got hit. They did arrest somebody in that one, by the way. Someone else pointed out, I guess, in Sacramento, somebody got shot up there. And I'm reading reports of stuff from all across California. There's a lot of crime raging throughout the state, and when you're in an area like Stockton, the capacity and the potential for shit like this to happen, it's there. It's just there, and it is what it is, and it's been going on for quite some time now. Of course, we've had the opinions, the vloggers on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of people that cover like urban stuff and gang stuff and that kind of culture and whatnot. They've all, been chiming in and have their opinions and, getting their thousands of views. I brought up, I brought up a point about, you can ask the question now, is violence something that defines the city? All right. Now, I got into it a little bit with somebody early this morning on Facebook regarding this, and I understand that certain people in positions of authority and power have to say certain things. They have to put on a certain face. I get it. Okay, but the reality is that, okay, it went down Saturday. Sunday morning, I was up early, like around 6:30, and well, beside the fact that my Facebook was blowing up over, the screenshots that I posted, my friend in North Carolina said he heard about it on his morning news that day. My friend in Missouri commented on the post. They heard about it. Then somebody messaged me and said, "Hey Jack, check out YouTube. They're talking about this in India." India. All right. So the bottom line is, this not only made national news, it made global news, and I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts that I could go online now and research stories about Stockton, that are being put over in other countries and whatever. And I'm not going to find anything about the asparagus festival or soccer league starting or anything else. But guess what? You got a mass shooting. Yeah, yeah, that's what people are going to hear about. And so I guess it depends on what your definition of define, how we define the city. But I hate to tell you, but bad news travels like wildfire, travels fast. And people have a tendency to gravitate toward the negative. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. That's your fellow man. That's human nature. That's the way people think. All right. Why do people slow down and look at the car wreck when they're passing by? Okay. It's just that mentality, and yeah. So that's where we're at. I did want to share something here.
I think it's kind of hard to erase that definition, especially like years and years and years and years of criminal activity
Oh
uh,
yeah,
and
yeah,
shootings
that's
and
what I mean. It's been
all
going
that
on
kind
since
of stuff.
'94, since I got here, and I know it was going on before that. And
And
yeah,
it probably made global news because of the fact that it involved children as well. It was a birthday party.
oh yeah,
And
yeah,
gang related violence, people think it stretches just gang to gang. No, it can show up at your front doorstep, your business, in your neighborhood, your park, your school, So, yeah, people
hmm
just got to be more careful, more wary about what they're doing. And, the city needs to wake up. The city council members need to wake up. Again, I don't live in Stockton. I hear a lot of the Stockton news through Port City Uncensored. And I think you guys do a really good job at showcasing what's going on in the city and definitely, speaking what I'm assuming a lot of the Stockton population is thinking. And so, it's sad. It's sad. And that's still, again, like people have, outlets everywhere and news travels fast, as you said. So, especially bad news like this.
hmm
And it's probably just shocking to the rest of the world, even outside of Stockton, in different states and different countries. It's like whoa, like a small town like this near California is barely like what 20 miles away from California's capital. Like,
hmm
come on, man.
yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, and again, this could have happened, somewhere in Oakland, L.A., Detroit, St. Louis, Memphis, New Orleans. Pretty much pick any city on the map these days. Any urbanized, ghetto area, and this shit happens. Like I said, this weekend, well, the pendulum landed on Stockton, unfortunately, and so it's a national, I don't want to call it a phenomenon, but it's a national thing that unfortunately, we deal with, and so to think that Stockton or any city, for instance, that any one city or any one person or politician in any one city is going to have the answer to all this, I think is delusional thinking. Because if it was that easy, it would have happened years ago. But on that note, we did have a update from our sheriff, and I want to pull this up on the screen share here. And so, yeah, we got a little update from from our sheriff, and he gave this press conference complete with the cowboy hat. Best John Wayne impression. Sheriff Pat Red River Withrow.
You have seen what we've put out so far, but just wanted to take this opportunity to come and give you a little bit of an update of where we're at on this. Not a lot to add to it, but wanted to give you the opportunity to ask any questions you might have also. So as you know, approximately 21 hours ago, a little before 6 o'clock, we had a mass shooting at a child's birthday party here in Stockton, in the county region of Stockton. Our units responded and found approximately 15 victims of gunshot wounds at this party, and unfortunately 4 of those 15 are deceased now. As we put out, the ages are from 8, 9, 14, and 21 in this horrific shooting that occurred. We have been actively investigating this, obviously, from the moment it happened. We've had our team on the scene processing it for the past 21 hours. And while that was going on, we were actively following up all the leads that we have, looking for witness statements, asking anyone to give us any video that they might have of this incident, and following every lead that we have at this time. I am confident.
Okay, I just want to pause it there because, the second, this is kind of a two-part thing, and the second part's about to roll up on us. But of course, he's saying, his team is on it. They're processing the evidence, et cetera, et cetera. And, when we get these guys, we're going to bring them to justice. And, this is, law enforcement officials make the same kind of statement across the country every time something like this happens. But it's a two-part, and we're listening to the first part now, but we will be gliding into the second part. So let's just listen to this.
In our team and with the work that we have done so far, that we will find these animals that did this and bring them to justice. But we still need the public's help.
Okay, we still need the public's help. Translation, we need a snitch.
Help on this. We need everyone who has any information on this to reach out to us. This is the time for our community to show that we will not put up with this type of behavior where people will just walk in and kill children. We all know that there are people out there that are violent and commit violent crimes. But these animals walked in and shot children at a children's birthday party. And none of us should stand for that. And so if you know anything about this, you have to come forward and tell us what you know.
Yeah, because we got nothing else to go on. I mean, not for nothing, and I'm not knocking Sheriff Pat. I mean, we do have a good sheriff's department here, but these situations happen where people do get away with stuff. And as it stands right now, we're at Thursday. These clowns that shot that birthday party up, so far have gotten away with it. So anyway, there is reward money up, and I believe the amount is up to $35,000 now. And
put it higher.
Put
it higher.
Allegedly, the FBI also has $50,000 additional in a separate reward for the same thing.
Oh my God! You have a Batman bug?
Even the mayor, no?
I was joking. You actually have one.
Well, I know what's going to happen. The people that got, was involved in it, they know exactly who did it. Eventually, what they're going to do is just retaliate. That's what they're doing. They're not waiting for the, the sheriff or anybody else to kind of arrest these guys. Because
we do have that factor in there. But as far as law enforcement, I mean, for all the evidence they're able to collect and whatever, There's been no arrests made. And when he's
Question for
really
you guys. Yeah.
emphasizing we need the public's help, well, that's telling me they need a snitch. You know,
I got a question
uh,
for you guys.
the what?
So I got a question.
All right, hold on.
So it's for
We got some
hang on.
noise.
Oh, your microphone Showa. There you go. My question being is that okay? It's a hypothetical. So whether or not these guys are caught, that's great. But what if this happens again, right? So let's say that this incident is solved, right? Like they get their payback, or they get arrested out of the way. What if it happens again next year or 5 years from now, or like it keeps happening over and over? So it's like it doesn't solve the root of the problem. It's the culture that promotes the youth to think it's okay to go and speed up a birthday party. Because well, like I was saying, picture this. In the 5 minutes before they arrived at their destination to do that crime, do you guys think that maybe any of them thought, you know what is this a good idea? Because it's like they knew where to go, they knew who they were after, yet none of them thought, but there's kids at this party. It's a birthday party. We know where he's at. We know who's there, but none of them thought that maybe this might have been a really bad idea. But no, they proceeded and led to these events, right? So that's why. Okay, yeah, this is something I want to bring up since you guys like hearing my take on things, right? So here's the analogy. There's this guy called H.P. Lovecraft. He makes Lovecraftian horror books. So what Lovecraftian horror it's causing, right? It's out of our control, beyond our understanding, right?
Mhm.
So the difference between some shit like Michael Myers and some cosmic entity is that I understand one, I don't understand the other. So the analogy I'm making is that this shit it should terrify you guys. Maybe it already does. Is that the root of the problem? Is that as long as I've been alive, as long as Jack's been alive, as long as before any of us have been here, since the 80s when gang warfare was really popping off, or was it the 90s? It's that the youth will always think it's okay to pick up a gun and shoot somebody else instead of talking about it. Like just think about the entire line of thought. I just want you guys. It's a rhetorical question. Nobody answer. It's just like think about that for a second. The culture that we live in that's been in Stockton for for like 50 years, way longer, is that it's okay to shoot someone that yeah, that's pretty much it. It's okay to shoot people. That's the entire culture we have in Stockton.
That's the
And
reason
I always
why we
compare
have.
us to Lodi. I always compare Stockton to Lodi because Lodi is right next to Stockton. It is the most nearby city, and it has such a different way of life. I know I've been there. The people
Well,
there, the atmosphere, I don't feel afraid, right? So whatever the point of people say, oh, it's a small city, Stockton's a big city. That doesn't matter because you can pull out instances of cities way bigger than Stockton that are far less violent. So the point being is that why is the culture like it is in Stockton, and why is it the way it is in Lodi? Because Lodi is never ranked always in top 10 of the most violent cities in California. Just think about that. Why are
Okay,
we? Why
first
is
of
our
all,
culture violent?
let's welcome King NPV to the stream.
hello, ladies and
Nelson,
gentlemen.
good to
How
see
you
you.
guys
Man,
Okay, yeah, did you have a point, Nelson?
Oh, what I was gonna say is, from my understanding, and this is kind of funny because Alex's mom never likes coming, like never wanted to come visit my house after I bought it for this very reason, because of the reputation Stockton has. No, like I'm serious. Like,
I know. So
and
so for the
so, so what?
audience background, Nelson and I are like we've been best friends since like 5 years old, and our parents know each other, and like I know his mom really well, and he knows my parents really well. And when Nelson moved, my parents were like, "Are you sure? Are
Yeah,
you
no. And
sure?"
I'm over here thinking I'm in a really nice neighborhood because, like, again, I live in an HOA community. The neighborhood's
he
nice.
is
My
in a nice neighborhood.
fucking cool. But this literally happened 2 or 3 blocks away from my house.
Yep.
This wasn't something that like happened like super far away. This literally after I was over at J-Man's, because I think that was when we did our first episode of Sonic Waves, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we were literally doing a music show and had no idea this was going on.
No idea.
Yeah.
Not aware at all of what had just happened in Stockton. And literally on my way home, I see the roads blocked off because the police officers are trying to gather evidence from what had just happened. And then not just that. I think it was last year. It had to have been not last year. My neighbor, or this past year actually, my neighbor got robbed at gunpoint. My front door neighbor. And they never caught the assailant. He was pulling into his driveway. A guy with no plates, two guys with no plates came up, parked their car, and came out, ski mask and everything, gunpoint. I have the video. It literally happened right in front. I have cameras and everything, and the cops could never catch the guys. I don't know. I'm slowly starting to lose
faith.
I've definitely lost faith, but I also have to take into account my family, and because of my work situation, I need to think about their safety. So at the end of the day, I gotta take into account what might be best for my family. Even though I love owning my property, I have a beautiful house and everything. It's just not safe for my family. I got two beautiful girls and a beautiful wife, and if I'm not home half the time, you never know what can happen. If a gun was this close to my family when my neighbor got robbed, what's to say somebody couldn't have shot that into my house and something could have happened to my daughters? So I don't know. Stockton, I wish the culture and everything would change. Realistically, it's a foundational issue. This is the reason why it's hard for businesses to come to Stockton. That's the reason why there's so many abandoned buildings in Stockton. Companies just don't want to invest in an area that's just proven time and time again to just be riddled with violence, and the streets just be riddled with like homelessness and dirtiness. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. And you know what? At the end of the day, places are the way they are because the people who live there made it that way. All right. I mean,
Pretty much, yeah.
think about it. It's very basic. I mean, the people who live there made it that way. Who else are you going to blame this shit on? You know, out of towners, aliens from outer
They're
space?
gonna blame it on
I don't
Trump.
think so.
They'll blame it on Trump.
Yeah, you know, you've got your
His fault.
your deranged part of the population that'll always look for a scapegoat. But you know, at the end of the day, when you look at things over a time period, years, decades, and there's literally no change. And as I pointed out, your three buildings here in Stockton. You've got the Human Services, the courthouse, and mental health. They're all busy. They're all packed and full every minute when they're open, 52 weeks a year. That's a lot of people. That's a huge chunk of your population with lives that are married to the criminal justice system, the mental health system, and the welfare state. And oftentimes, one or more of those. So when this is the raw material that you have to work with, what do you think, what are you going to grow in that garden?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because I've seen Stockton. I've been here for about 40 years now, right? And the problem is for this city, right? In order for this city to change, we need to be able to bring in jobs. Because what happens is when you start bringing in jobs, businesses, it could be manufacturing, it could be anything, right? So let's say like a test up manufacturing facility. And you put all these people that are actually unemployed working now. So that means your fellow coworker, the guy that's next to you on the assembly line, that's the guy, he's probably like your neighbor. And then that guy knows somebody that's down, 10 blocks from you. And then everybody lives within Stockton. So what happens is now you build this community. So this community is no longer just
a working community, you also have a community outside of work now. Because why? Everybody knows everybody. So that means I would not come and shoot you just over some stupid little squabbles.
But
Because
that's
why?
the
We all
thing.
work together. We all work in the same manufacturing. We all see each other every single day.
But you could say
Right?
that right
Not
now about
anymore.
the Amazon. No, but hold on. That no, you could say that right now about the Amazon Prime facility. The Amazon Prime facility in the warehouse.
Yeah, but you know, it, it's it's
It's
that's
the
only
same. It's
one.
the
You only
same
have
thing.
one, right? So that means you
No,
only
but
have one
it's the
manufacturing.
same
It,
thing.
it,
Not
it,
just that. In order for people to get, like, for example, if Tesla were to somehow miraculously put a facility in Stockton that's manufactured, they're not just going to hire people from Stockton because they live in Stockton. That's not how it necessarily works. They're going to hire the
Nope.
best
You have to be
qualified
qualified.
people to come and take those jobs.
but
So those people could be coming from Sacramento. Those people would be coming from Roseville,
but
Rhode
but
Island. It's not going to just be Stockton. That's the other thing. So
but
like
but
it, the thought and the idea is fine, but the safety issue, that's why companies don't want to come to Stockton, and that's why it's so hard for jobs to be here in Stockton, if that makes
but
sense.
Yep.
but the thing is, once again, you got to start somewhere, right? Because in order to change stock in itself, right, you have to build a community. So if you don't have a community, all you have is ghettoness. What do you have when it's
That's all we
ghettoness?
have,
It's just kind
though.
of like it's just like the homelessness issue, right? Why is it that everywhere you see homelessness, it's so filthy? Why? Because why? They don't care about their surrounding. When I don't care about my surrounding anymore, that means my neighbor is shooting up drugs, right? My neighbor is selling drugs. It's like I don't care because why? We all live in this ghetto hood. So that means you're gonna take my $10 because you're selling crack to my customer, right? So that means I'm going to shoot you over that $10. And that's what we're seeing here. And you see the same thing with Oakland. You see the same thing with San Francisco, LA, some of these big cities where it's just so ghetto that, you know, like when you go down to LA and you look at Crenshaw, right? Boys and Hood kind of, you know, that's what happens because there's no jobs there because everybody is on the streets. Everybody's just slaying and dope and trying to hustle. And that's what you have.
That's the
When
future of
nobody cares
Stockton.
about anything other than the fact that I'm trying to make a $10, and what are you doing in my turf? You're trying to take my $10 from me, and that's what we're seeing here.
What about this? You're threatening their survival because they have no other way of making money because the economy in Stockton's so bad, nobody can get a job. And thus they kill each other over territory because that's how they make income. Damn, bro,
Yep.
that's fucked up. That's why Stockton's
what I
a
was saying
forgotten
last
city,
week.
bro, because
Seriously,
that's all that makes the money. It's the
yep,
prostitution, it's the drugs, it's the
it is.
corruption. That's
No, it
why
is.
Governor Newsom doesn't
It
even
is.
want to come here. Fun fact, he refused to come to Stockton after the events, after the event happened. You can Google it. He refused to come down.
No,
He
I don't.
tweeted,
I
"Oh yeah,
don't.
Mike
I
owns
know,
him."
and I
He does not
frankly,
want to
I
come down
do
here.
not blame him because Stockton is a hazardous fucking city to literally come to. Like you can't,
Yeah, how fucked up is
you
that,
can't,
bro?
you have to be on alert
You drive through
walking
here.
into
You don't stay here.
Safeway. No, you literally have to be alert walking into a grocery store because you don't know what might happen
Everywhere,
on your way
actually.
into that grocery store.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
well,
It's safe, bro. I would know
as it
this. I lived
stands,
here, bro, for
as it
years as a
stands
kid.
right now today, when you're in that grocery store, the guys that did the shooting last Saturday, they might be actually standing in the checkout line with you, for all we
Exactly.
know,
Well, with
because
you.
they haven't been caught yet. On that note, I want to pause for a second. We've got to meet a few obligations here, but when we come back, I want to address a little bit more the issue about the culture here, and also our police department and what they're going through. So, and who's ever Mike is making that noise, if you can maybe
Shoua.
do something about it.
Shoua, Mike.
Listen up, dog owners. Every month, BarkBox delivers 2 brand new toys that will make your dog lose their mind, plus 2 full-size bags of treats so healthy you'll be tempted to steal one yourself. But don't. Trusted by over 8 million dogs who have literally never written a bad review. We're talking fully customized, tiny terror toys for Chihuahuas, indestructible beasts for your Rottie, allergy-friendly snacks for the drama queens with sensitive tummies. Even extra subscriber-only goodies if you want to go full spoiled. Right now, new subscribers get a free extra toy in every box for a whole year, and shipping is forever free. That's 12 bonus toys. Fair warning, once this starts, your dog will sprint to the door every time they hear a truck. So stop letting your dog down and click the link in the description or scan that beautiful QR code and get your first BarkBox today, before your dog runs away. BarkBox, because your dog deserves better. Go!
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hey guys, Smacks here. If you guys like gaming, swing over to Twitch, Smacks_TTV, live most nights. Stop by, say hi, drop a follow.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops. You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
Okay, welcome back. All you folks watching us, hit the like button. Okay, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It helps us out a lot. We appreciate it. Okay, YouTube, X, Facebook. Welcome, Port City Uncensored. And yeah, so we were talking about the mess that we call the city of Stockton. And
Well, this
yeah,
is
you
also
know,
like this is
I got
also
love
another
bad,
thing.
bro.
This is also like another thing. If we were to do community events in Stockton, not even that. This shooting makes you not want to do any community events in Stockton. Because if you do community events, you're putting not just the regular citizens at risk, but whoever may be a target of whatever gang rivalry is going to be going on in whoever's turf, if that makes sense.
well, yeah.
So how can you build a
Yeah,
community if it's not safe for you to really do events in the community?
You can't.
Or maybe the community was never planned to begin with.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I mean,
So bad.
yeah, now Shoua mentioned about the workplace guys that work together and they know each other. Okay, again, if you had a lot of jobs that would provide for that, that would be one thing. But how many people here commute?
Oh, I commute.
Okay, yeah. So when you've got essentially a bedroom community, you don't have a bunch of guys that are on the loading dock at the same place every day.
Because jobs in Stockton also don't pay mortgages in Stockton either.
Well, that's why
Hey guys,
people commute.
I got one for you. I got a better question. The question
Is this an actual question,
rather,
or hold on, Scotty? Is this an actual question, or is this a statement?
No question. Okay, so maybe it's a bit of both. Okay, so it's two for you. So my question is that is it possible to actually get jobs that are going to be paying a livable wage in Stockton at all? My statement actually is that every job in Stockton, if you don't have like a fancy degree or a position, essentially it's pretty much a shitty job. They're all dead-end jobs unless it's something special. Think about it. So if you're not living with your family, if you don't have passive income, say you just moved to Stockton, like Nelson, you told me that one time that you came to Stockton and you tried for a job and it was just not happening. So imagine if you actually never could get a job, how fucked the situation would be, right? So my point being is that there's a lack of qualified people to get jobs in Stockton because nobody wants to bring the programs to train people here, right? How many people in Stockton are fucking IT illiterate? There's your question, right? If Elon Musk was like, all right, why should I build a factory here?
So that's also another thing. That's why even if they brought like tech paying roles to Stockton, it would be super low. But number one, it would be minimum wage, if not basically like maybe just a couple dollars above minimum wage. And number two, it would be still a lot of people from out of town because a lot of people in Stockton are so like IT illiterate. Unless you're coming from a college or a university from Stockton, and even some of those kids aren't necessarily trying to be in tech; they're trying to do other stuff.
Well, that's been
Yeah,
a
see the
thing here
issue?
too, because you got kids that are coming out of like Delta, for instance, that have tech skills and have studied that. And where are they going to go for a
And they
job
leave,
around
bro. They
here?
leave. They're gonna leave Stockton. They're gonna leave and go to Sacramento or San Francisco. I know this
If
because
they want to do
I'm
that,
on a very similar path such as them.
if they want to
No,
do
They
that
have to
for a
leave.
living,
That's
yeah.
it. That's
no.
the
So this is also the other thing. The only decent IT jobs worth paying anything are the county or the state jobs that like you can get from Stockton that you apply for and you get on a waiting list because they got pensions
government
and
type of job.
401ks or whatever. Those are the IT jobs
Exactly.
that are like people from Stockton will more or less go to. But again, that there's a reason
Sure.
why the IT infrastructure in Stockton is so weak. And I can say that for a fact
Exactly.
because I've seen the devices they use and how they run it. And I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you, J-Man, actually, you and I both have seen how they run that shit because that's how we met.
Fucking Windows 7.
No,
Yeah.
and like we've seen it firsthand how they run their IT and all their infrastructure. So
Bruce,
that
you're right.
being said, there's a reason why like tech
They fucking
companies
suck,
don't
bro.
want to come to Stockton. It's just not a safe or secure place for that. And then what realistically, what
That's just
other
there, Nelson. It's not safe. It's not safe to bring in any of that equipment because say they do, it'll get fucking robbed or stolen. Hey, let's open up this server farm where there's expensive equipment. Or like Best Buy. Imagine if Best Buy had glass windows instead of shutters. All that shit be fucking gone. Right? So it's like it's too hazardous. Oh yeah, it's not worth the risk for any company to bring in their people or equipment or infrastructure because there's no way you can maintain it in Stockton. There's lack of qualified people to even do the fucking job. So everything Nelson's saying is fucking true, bro. That's exactly why I'm terrified as someone who's in college is because there's no jobs here. Even with all my skill, I can't get a fucking job here unless you're lucky to get a clearance for some government shit because that's what pays the money, bro. Getting a job in IT is already difficult. Getting a job in Stockton as a new grad for IT is fucking damn near impossible without connections, internship, and nothing. It's true, isn't it, Nelson? That's how fucked it is. It's fucked.
Yeah,
It's fucked. It's fucked, bro.
but it once again it everything's it's like a circle. Okay, in order for us to break this circle or this cycle, we have to do something. And it all starts with the people that are actually in office running the city of Stockton, right? So how do you change the culture? The only way to change the culture, you got to really put people that are truly from Stockton that love the city to the point where they want to see a change within the city. So the people that are running this city has to say, what can we do to really change the environment here? One, how do we educate our community to the point where we get jobs back to the city, right? So that means we need to bring in these trade schools. We need to educate the people here. We need to start working with your manufacturing, like your Teslas, your, whatever's out there, right? And say, hey, we have this, tech school that will put out 500 people every year, right? That can graduate with, some kind of tech, certification in electrical, mechanical, and, carpentry, right? And that way now you could really sell it to all these tech savvy, industries, and you could get them to start manufacturing, stuff in Stockton. That's the only way you're going to change this culture because why? If you don't do it, this city will keep going. It's gonna keep rotting and rotting and rotting. It's kind of like it's kind of like uh, um, in Hmong culture, we have a term, right? Because
I personally don't think spending the money or the resources to try to bring in trade schools to Stockton will have any real impact. on the culture in Stockton, to be completely honest.
You know
Because
what the
a lot of these
culture of
kids,
Stockton is, boys? I'll
no,
tell
no,
you.
no.
They don't
But
give
that's
a
also
shit. It's
like
all
this.
ghetto. They don't
It
care.
comes. It's a generational curse from the people that have resided from a lot of the people that have
Hey,
resided
we're
in
getting a
Stockton.
little audio.
Shoua.
No, but it's just a
Get a headset.
generational curse from people that have been in Stockton, where literally their grandfathers and fathers and sons and everybody have been raised in this
Hell.
not hell, you could say hell, but in this environment or in this culture where violence
Never got out.
or ignorance has been very heavily at the forefront, because even the most educated children in Stockton sometimes can get down and get down with you, if that makes sense. Even if you're into books or very well educated, you might be an A+ student, but because of the way the culture is in Stockton, maybe those students get pushed into certain areas because of their circumstances that they don't necessarily fulfill their potential. And I've seen that happen multiple times over, and that's a shame.
Correct.
Right. Well, okay.
So what we need to do is it's if you really want to change the culture, right? That means once again, the people that are running the city, what they need to do is start putting a lot of like restrictions, start putting like a lot of city ordinance, right? It's kind of like when I was growing up in the 80s,
We
a
need to
lot
get
of
rid
cruising. What happens with cruising? A lot of cruising, people will, end up fighting, right? So what happens? They eliminate the cruising. What happens? You don't have the fight anymore. So you got to start putting the ordinance. If you're wearing baggy pants, we're going to pull you over, we're going to throw you in jail, right? What happens now? You change the culture because why? No more baggy pants. If we see you throwing trash on the floor, we're going to arrest you. We're going to throw you in jail, right? So what happens? And you're going to get fined. You change the culture because why? You're changing the way people bad habits, right? And that's the only way you're going to change the city is by putting in ordinance where you make it more of I'm going to say it, a communist city where you say, hey, in order for us to be a really true city where we're going to be clean, we're going to be sober, we're going to be done with all this crap, and we're going to live a really, we have to start having these city ordinance in order to make a change.
What I think Stockton should honestly do is study what Redwood City and literally the peninsula did in the early 80s or 90s that basically eradicated all the gangs and stuff that was in this area and was able to gentrify it, because that's what Stockton really needs. It needs to eradicate the gangs. It needs to drive them the fuck
Get
out
El
of Stockton.
Salvador. Get the guy from El Salvador. He
I
was
don't want to hear. I don't want to hear no
honestly.
talk about communism in my country.
Yeah, no, we ain't communists, but
Okay,
eradicate.
It's not true communist, but it's the philosophy is in order to make a change, right? You got to start putting regulations and rules in. It's kind of like Trump. It's like what Trump is doing right now in Minnesota. He's going in and clearing out all these Somalians. Why? Because they're bad. They're bad juju, right? Bad juju. So what do we do? We need to clean up Stockton. We got to get rid of all this bad juju. No more sagging pants. No more littering. All this crap. And if
Okay,
you're doing it, we don't want you
okay,
here.
so now this would be in the area of enforcement, right?
So I was about to say that
Right.
rather, and I never thought I'd be one to advocate for this, but we need to actually fund the police and special task forces and provide them the equipment that they actually need to go out and do their jobs. Because I look at the equipment,
Yes.
and I hate to say this, I look at the equipment that the Stockton police officers use, and I look at the equipment Redwood City, Santa Clara, San Jose, all the police officers here in the Bay Area use, and it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous
the shitty
how
hand-me-downs.
outdated
Okay,
the equipment that Stockton police officers have.
Okay,
And
well, hey,
I'm not
Why do you
one
think-
to
guys, hey, here where we're in Stockton right now, as of this moment, our cops do not have a contract. The police union does not have a contract. All right, they haven't had for a while. All right, now, how good of a look is this? You just had a mass shooting. Everybody's, going to prayer vigils and scratching your heads. Oh, what are we going to do? Oh, we're so sad and everything else. Anytime your fucking cops don't have a goddamn contract. No.
So what are we paying?
Oh, but we just got a new city manager, Johnny.
Yeah.
Lord. Oh, so now everything going to be good?
You know, for the last couple of years, and even now, we're still paying that stupid Measure A. Are we not paying Measure A to fund the police? So where's all that money going to? Once again, we have too many shenanigans happening at the city hall where all these elected officials are moving our money around from one measure to one measure to make it look like we are, the city is not bankrupt, and that's the problem,
Where's
right?
the money going, Showa? Where's the money going? Where's the money,
Exactly.
Lebowski? Where's the fucking money, Lebowski?
I hate to say it, but I would have to point my finger at the mayor herself. She's the one responsible
one?
for it.
Which mayor?
I don't want to hear
Oh, that
anything about Jason Lee or whatever. She is the mayor. She won the vote. She needs to do her job, and she needs to be transparent. Because at this point, it's just getting fucking ridiculous.
Well, he was incompetent to begin with, so it's like, you put an incompetent person running a city, what do you get? You get incompetence. So,
Well,
Hey, you know who's
no
not
matter how
having
you
a
want to
good day right
look
now?
at it,
Tom
there's still four votes that are needed to get anything done. And so, there's 6 other people up there on that dais, and Jason Lee has used the word collusion. Patricia Barrett twice used the term shadow government. I think the cat's out of the bag. People understand there's a lot of backroom shenanigans going on, and it is what it is. But yeah, our police union doesn't have a contract, and public safety. Public safety was a big deal in the last campaign. It was what people ran on. It was what was promised. And by the way, when candidates and politicians talk about public safety and fighting crime, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to make this ordinance, do you honestly think the criminal element, like the guys that shot up the birthday party last week and their associates, do you think people like that are listening or even give a rat's ass?
No, they fucking don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. They would have tried to target MB by himself, his car, waited for him or whatever to pull, like literally just stalked him, waited for him to pull out, and just targeted him by himself. But they didn't do that. They didn't give a fuck, and they targeted regular human beings, citizens, and children, which is fucking ridiculous. And Gene F 1027, I think it's time for Stockton to do the same thing. And I hate to say it, push him out someplace else, because we don't want him in Stockton either. At the end of the day, we gotta think about our city, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, is this what you were talking about?
Yep.
The comment. Okay. Yeah, South San Francisco Bay Area pushed their gangs to poorer areas, Oakland and Richmond and Vallejo.
I hate to say it, we might not be able to we might not be able to resolve the issue, but we have to get rid of them from our city, because we don't.
Were you about to say eradicate?
Eradicate the gangs. I say it again.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys want my respect?
We need to bring in Trump. Bring in Trump and get rid of whatever gangs in here. Get rid of whatever, right? All the illegals in Stockton. We got to get rid of all of them. Maybe it'll actually change some of that.
You guys
you know what, Shoua? A lot of the gang bangers were born and bred right here in
America,
the good old USA in Stockton.
No, they really are. They really are. The Stockton, the gang bangers in Stockton are more or less born and raised in Stockton. Because in order for you to do and commit the crimes that you're committing, you have to be it's generational. It's handed down to you. There's some sort of commitment that you have to demonstrate and be a part of. In the words of somebody that I used to work with in Sacramento, because he was a kid, he was 18 years old, to jump off the porch. So a lot of these kids,
what that means. That's not a good term.
They jump off the porch at a very young age. At the age
hey, Bill Smith joined us on the stream. I know you have a comment here. What's your take on this, Bill?
Well, we used to have a gang task force, and it's probably went to the wayside now that we don't have a contract. But
Didn't have any funding.
they should they should have a gang task force and round them up, put them in jail. We're getting tired of this shit. You know, a lot of gangs come over from Oakland and loot and then head back out of town. It's just it's
Yep.
Well, yeah, you've got Bay Area people buying the houses here because the people here can't afford them, of course, and so they move
Mm-hmm.
out here. And if they've got shitty kids that are, gangbangers, they bring them, and
Bring it here.
then they move here, and yeah, and so we got a couple more comments here.
the sad part about it is there's no fathers. There's no real fathers in these lives.
Why are those no fathers? Why is there no fathers? Answer this question, boys. Why is there no fathers? What could possibly have changed in the last 50 years that led to a multi-generations of young men with no fathers? I can answer this, boys.
This is the thing. This is the thing. There
Fathers
aren't
don't
biological. No. This is the thing. There are no biological fathers, but what ends up happening is these kids tend to adopt bad human beings as their father figures.
Yeah,
that lead
street
them
father.
to
What do you think?
through a bad path. So they do have fathers, just not in the conventional sense that you and I would have a
That's our
father. If that
point.
makes sense.
And they got really
likes
bad
a father
mothers
that
too.
finds them in the streets. Yeah, what kind of mother? What kind of mother? Be
There needs
specific,
to-
Jack. Come on, don't be shy.
No,
Let's be unsensitive. What kind of mother?
Okay, yeah, okay,
No.
sure. I'll give you an example. You got a gal from the ghetto. She spits out baby number one. Okay, so you got baby
welfare
daddy
money.
number one out there. As soon as that's done, the kid gets handed off to grandma to raise. Okay, because
Yep.
she's got to squeeze
Popping that
back in
baby
that
out.
party dress, get back out to the clubs with her girlfriends, and look for baby daddy number two. Okay.
He's also a gangbanger.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse,
Over and
repeat.
over.
So eventually,
welfare money.
she winds up being a gal. She's got 72 kids from 99 different fathers, and nobody's paying a dime of child support. Okay.
Oh, the
transplant.
state's paying all that welfare.
Hey, I like that
and
word.
that
Let me
weed.
What do you mean nobody's
planted here.
paying? We're paying for it, man. Come on. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The-
because
the
there's no free
taxpayer is
lunch.
paying for
There's no free
bastards.
lunch. Despite what the Bernie Sanders people would tell you, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything is going to get paid for some way, somehow. And yeah, the taxpayers usually are the ones that wind up taking it up the fucking ass.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but this
All
goes
right.
back to my point about the culture is that you get hoes for the chicks that are young, and then you got the boys becoming gangbangers. See, that's my generation in Stockton. The chicks become
No,
hoes, and the
Scotty,
boys become wannabe thugs. That's
Scotty,
what's been happening.
Scotty,
I would know this.
that's not your
Don't tell me. I
generation.
was born here for the last 20 fucking
Scotty,
years.
Stockton all my
Scotty,
what I
that's not
crazy
just your
seeing.
generation, but that goes like fucking for the last hundreds of years,
course it
dog,
goes
or at least
back.
100 in the Stockton's history. That goes back to at least a good majority of it. It's not just our generation.
Okay, so then it's ingrained. You prove
Yes,
my point, Nelson.
that's
You're proving
exactly
the point.
what I've been saying.
It's ingrained.
You know,
So if you can't fix it, then what is
Hold
the
on,
issue in solving it? What's
you
the
got
point?
something you got to say, Chief?
well, I've been in Stockton all my life. Okay, 66 years. I've seen the good. I remember the day Patrick Purdy shot up Cleveland School. That was a sad day. A lot of kids got
Rest
shot.
in peace.
That was a
Rest in
fucking
peace, people.
So, Stockton is a good city, but they don't utilize what Stockton is all about. Okay, Stockton is
That's
a
fair.
Delta community. Okay, there's people live in this town don't even know what the Delta is, and most of our agriculture comes out of that Delta region, and it's been supplying Stockton forever, and a lot of people, and I'll say it like a Stocktonian, all these people, these Bay Area people moved in over here, not to offend anybody, moved in over here and started acting like this was their city. Well, it's not their city. It's our city. And we've always had, Stockton is an old community with a lot of old community people. Now there's a city within the city. You know, I can go throughout Stockton and see people that I've seen all my life. And you guys that have moved in from out of town, you'll go through this city and you'll see nobody you know. Okay? There's a small city within Stockton, and that small city still protects Stockton. The sad part about it is our community leaders have no idea what that city is. Okay? Why is Weber Point locked up? Why? Why is it always locked up?
Good
Nobody
point.
gets in there. Special events. Why are certain things not available to the taxpayers in this city? Why? Okay, so they shut us out. They handcuff us, and then they wonder why there's frustration amongst people that move here, people that live here, and people that are here. And and these gangbangers, they come blowing through. They think they fucking own the place. They don't. Okay, so I think
And again, okay, it's going to take an arm of enforcement to let them know that.
it's going to take everybody getting a concealed carry permit.
Yeah, and well,
I can get behind that.
it's okay. I'm glad you mentioned that because it'd be a lot easier to do if, say, this was Polk County, Florida. I'm sure Alex is probably I forget the name of the sheriff out there. But anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's sheriff fucking
you have
hardcore.
places. Okay, you have places where the basic tenets of law and order are in place. Okay, then you got places like Stockton where they're not, and in fact, you can make a good case for California as a whole where they're not, where we've lost the basic tenets of law and order. Okay, criminals are coddled in the court system, you know, and honest citizens, you know, usually get the short end of the stick.
You mentioned Polk County, Florida, and I'm in no way a Floridian. Okay, like I'm born and raised California, moved out here.
Okay, yeah, but I just say
Yeah.
geographically, you know.
But that aside, when it comes to like state, like different things that happen in different states, you got to remember Polk County. I mean, you guys probably don't know. That's where Disney World is. It's like Stockton bullshit happening in Pasadena, where Disneyland is. So it's like, of course, here police are definitely going to be strict, and they're going to put their own values into law enforcement. Over there, a lot of police officers have to dance around these like bullshit laws that they have to get around in order for the city to actually do something. And even if the city does something, it has to go through legislation, the council, and all that. And then 10 years later, it's finally implemented. But what do you get? It's just rotting at that point. No offense to Stockton, but it just takes a long time for things to get done over there.
Well,
Yeah.
I got a great suggestion.
What's that?
Everybody vote for Chad Bianco.
Who's that?
Okay, yeah, a sheriff, and it's funny because there does seem to be a little bit of a divide between like sheriff departments and city cops. Sheriffs tend to be a little bit more independent. There was a bunch of them here in California that did a letter against the Prop 50, for instance. They will stand up to the bullshit coming out of Sacramento, but your city cops, generally speaking, they do what they're told. They're under the thumb of the city council. Usually
They're paid security guards, man. That's why.
So yeah, and well, guess what? In Stockton here, they don't have a contract. Hello, bing bong. Anybody home
So
up there?
that's why they don't. That's why they don't do anything, because they don't have a contract. They're just out there milking whatever money they got left right now. So they're just gonna pretend like they're doing any kind of police enforcement.
Hold on. So what's gonna happen once, like? So how are they getting paid?
Well, I mean, they're obviously still getting paid, and probably to the under the same agreement that they got. But yeah,
Yeah. So
they
so what happens when you don't have a contract is it's kind of like you do the work and then you build the city later, right? So you're doing the work and then you build the city. Hey, we spend X amount of hours, and you guys, the city now owes us 200,000 for those hours. That's what they're doing. It. They're billing it, right? When you have a contract, you're guaranteed that you're going to be doing X amount of hours for the year, right? That's what a contract means.
They still have a budget.
Same
Bill,
thing.
does your
Yeah.
wife have any thoughts she wants to share?
My wife.
I just saw your wife in the background. I thought she had something she wanted to share.
She was sharing her hands on my back.
Hi, business.
Hey, Laura.
Hey guys. Hey Jay.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I listen. I'm listening.
Yeah, it's nice to have a lady on once in a while because it's usually a sausage fest in here. But yeah,
I mean to come more often.
absolutely, yeah. Jump on.
Yeah.
We'll send you the link. But yeah. Okay. Here's a good point. Budget bankruptcy. I can guarantee you, 8 out of 10 people I've talked to, at least in the last couple of weeks, you ask them, you think we're heading to bankruptcy? The answer is affirmative, yes. All right. So, yeah, can they get a contract in place before a bankruptcy hit?
No.
Oh, yes, Bill, the book. Yes, I need to read that. All right. Yeah,
So who would be blamed for this bankruptcy? Christina, right?
Jason Lee.
You would
Why would
basically blame
No,
like Michael Tubbs, Kevin Lincoln, and Christina Fugazi, the three most recent. So it would all start with Michael Tubbs because they start funneling all that money around, right? Moving from one measure to another measure into the general fund, and then Kevin Lincoln did the same thing. Keep moving funds into the general funds when there's no money in there to make it look like the city's actually above. We're not drowning. And then Christina, them, when they hired that Michael, whatever his black name, that Michael Black or whatever, the city manager, right?
Oh, Harry Black.
Harry Black, yeah. So they had to pay him so much money, so they were obviously moving money around somewhere. So yeah, horrible.
Yeah, but the city manager before Harry Black, we paid him a $600,000 severance, and we're still paying Harry Black his wage, so he's still on payroll due to his contract. And now we have a new city manager. We had the Colangelo debacle and whatever that entailed as far as dollars and cents. But yeah, it's between the city and the nonprofits and all that, it's hard to believe that we're not driving on dirt roads.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I also found it interesting this week. I was reading that at this birthday party Saturday, there were some nonprofit and so-called community activist people at this party. Interesting, because I also read that there were people at the party that legitimately knows who's who in all this beef that's going on, and probably knows who the shooters were, at least who put them up to it.
yeah.
And so it's interesting that you see all these different people sort of coming together, and it really makes you wonder. And personally, I if you're walking around with a business card that says community activist on it, I have deep questions about you, buddy. I don't care who you are. All right, because there's too many people walking around with that title that ain't doing shit, that are full of shit. All right, and if any of these clowns had the answer, it would have happened years ago. All right, Same thing. If any of these politicians had an answer, it would have happened years ago. But this shit has been going on for a long time, and it's going on in multiple cities all over the map. Okay, so again, thinking that some personality, some candidate, some big shot, from Stockton, out of all these years, out of all the elections and all the candidates and everybody else, we've got the answer. Right. Got it. Show me. Show me. Because as I told this person this morning, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. Oh, we got a new city manager now, Johnny fucking Ford. Yeah, good for him. Can you get a contract for these cops before you get some bad news about your budget? Because you were short last year.
He's short again this year.
And and cost of things generally go up and not down. So what's the hole going to look like next time? And revenue coming into the city. If you were a company even considering coming here after what happened last weekend.
I was gonna say it's like mass hysteria or some shit where like one person does something and then it affects another person and that person does something and then it's like a domino effect where it affects multiple people and it's never good. It's just never good.
Yeah.
And I hate how this happens so close to the new year.
Well, yeah, that too. Sure gonna be a fucked up holiday for
a lot of
some families. Here's the other thing.
Later,
I hate to interrupt, but I'm gonna head out. It is getting a little late for me.
All right, Alex.
Sorry to interrupt, but what's it called? Quick plug-in, guys. If you're feeling a little cold over on the West Coast over there, because I see about 3 out of the 5 of us wearing jackets. Nelson's actually wearing a nice little sweatshirt. So if you want to make your winter that much cozier, pick up some Shady Mob Productions apparel right there. Oh
yes,
yeah,
sir.
man, check that out. All right, guys, that's it for me. Click on the QR code. Subscribe to Port City
All right, Alex.
Legendary Podcast.
Good night. Thanks for jumping on, and we'll see you on Sonic Waves, I guess.
Yes, sir. Let's check it out.
Okay, so but let's see. So now, what was I saying about the about the general situation here, it being what it is.
How fucked up holidays, families.
Yeah.
Basically, like I said, how messed up it is that it's literally happened so close to New Year's, and it's messed up that so many families have been impacted and lost their loved ones, essentially.
No, that's sad. It is sad.
Very sad.
Sad, and it's not the only sad thing going on in the world.
Yeah, that's for sure.
There's still the whole Ukraine issue is still going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's another major global effect.
That's
major issue.
Yeah, Gaza. I mean, even in this country, I've been watching crime reports from a canine dog got killed in Burbank. They did wind up shooting the guy, so he was shooting at the cops and the police cars and shit. So they took him out. But I mean, literally every day you can find shit. So yeah, Stockton is not alone, but I mean it doesn't make it any easier for us. And if there is anything that can be done, we absolutely should do it. It'd be nice if we could be the city that somehow finds a solution dealing with gang problems and violence and all this shit.
Fund the police and give them proper equipment and resources, or whoever, or the sheriff, or whoever can actually make an impact in tracking down these gang members and these people that are associated with these things, because it needs to be eradicated and it needs to be driven out of Stockton.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, there's reward money up. They need a snitch, and so
They're
eh,
coming.
eh,
The feds are coming. So
They don't need let's not call him a snitch. Let's call him a friendly enforcement informant. How about that?
yeah. Well, if he happens to be a member of one of those gangs, his buddies are going to consider him a snitch, and there will be a bounty on his head. And that's why the amount of the reward money, it's going to have to pass a certain threshold, maybe
Six
before
figures.
one of these punks decides that,
Six figures.
that'll be enough that I can, pay off a few debts and get out of town, kind of thing. But
that was the old joke. Once it hits 100,000, his mother will turn him in.
Yep, I was about to say.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, even this dude that was targeted, now he's on the run. He's in hiding. Imagine having to live your life like that. You know, I
Is
mean,
he in hiding though?
yeah, that's everything I've read so far. I mean,
Oh,
hey,
you're talking about MB Nell. You're talking
yeah,
about the rapper that was supposed to be hit.
target, yeah, yeah. So, and I mean, it's not like he's an old man. He's a young guy, and at this stage, you're gonna spend your life on the run now. You
Well,
got to be in hiding. Oh, what a way to live.
well,
You
he
know,
he just can't come back to Stockton, more or less.
I don't know how far are they willing to travel to shoot a guy. I
No,
mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like more or less, he cannot come back to Stockton. He should not. He Stockton is a no-fly zone. Anywhere from so anywhere, and I'll tell you how far the vicinity is from Sacramento to basically the Bay Area to probably Stockton, all the way probably down to Modesto and Turlock. That is a no-fly zone for MB Nell. Anything more than 3 hours out, he's probably okay. I'm thinking it's going. That's how it works. I may be wrong. I'm not affiliated with any gangs.
I can't begin to tell you. Hey guys, I got to check out.
all right, Bill.
But I want to tell you, I joined the campaign of Chad Bianco,
Awesome.
and I've seen him 3 times. He will make major changes to the state of California.
All right. Well, we got to get him elected.
Yep.
And so, hey, can you get him on the show?
I'll try and get him on the show.
Yeah, tell him we'd like to interview him, and
All right.
we'll get him on here.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
All right,
Have a
Bill.
great night, bud.
All right.
Thanks for checking in.
All right, bud.
We'll see you
Be
later.
safe, buddy.
Don't worry, boys. I'm still here.
All right, Scotty. Is it time for Scotty's special IT tip for the day?
Yeah, you got anything for us?
I got yeah, actually. Let's see. It's gonna sound a bit counterproductive, depending on who you are. But for example, if I was somebody that people were looking after, I would not use social media because sometimes when you post pretty much looking for any post online. And if you're a dumbass posting evidence online, they'll probably catch it. So that's my pro tip is that social media is a window, right? So whose life is it peeking into?
Yeah, the other thing people might want to keep in mind is that let's say you're doing some funny business or whatever, and then you're worried about getting caught, and you delete shit. Well,
It's not
guess
always
what?
deleted.
It doesn't get deleted on the back end, and these companies like YouTube and X and whatever, the courts and law enforcement can actually subpoena them for your account.
Your data.
And yeah, go back and look at the shit that you deleted. So just a word a word to the wise.
Don't trust corporations.
People that are up to whatever online there. You
Just
might want to keep
remember,
it in
there's
mind.
always a digital fingerprint, guys.
Yeah.
Right, and I guess there was something. In fact, I think I sent you. I forwarded you a link from Malware Bytes, Scotty.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, they were saying like Amazon accounts, I believe, were getting hacked and whatnot over the holidays. Now, this is the time of year when you really got to be careful, both online or
Yeah,
even if you're in the parking lot at the mall, people get robbed. Scammers are online, looking to
you can get
hijack.
robbed fucking online in real life. It doesn't really matter. Pretty much nowhere is safe. I'm not gonna lie, boys. It's that bad. It's like, okay. So speaking of malware bites, guess what? Something. Uh, s- Cameras. How do you know that whenever you go to a hotel, right, that there's not a hidden camera in your bathroom spying on you, and that someone's not collecting that footage and selling it on the dark web to make a buck? Because I think they call it sexploitation, whatever. So it has something to do with the fact that corporations can see that if you try to delete messages or your account, they can sometimes recover that because it's data, right? So
Yeah.
not all data is deleted. So that's that for that example. But I also think about, what if it's not a corporation that has your data? What if it's a really fucking like perverted stalker or a gangbanger who has access to your old accounts? He's like, oh, so now I know that you live at this location or that you frequent these places. Yada, you see where I'm going with this? So it's like, who's using that information about you?
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you know? Do you really know, boys?
No, you don't.
No. Do you know who knows? Do you guys know who knows where you're at right now?
Everybody.
Why does everybody know where you're at?
My wife. I don't know.
No, besides them, does anyone you don't know where you're at? Like, does anyone come to
Oh,
mind?
probably not.
Probably not. How do you know that? How do you know that you're not like a background search away and your address pops up and it says how many cars you have and your numbers and email address, yada yada? Because data like that is what companies sell, and that's why it's leaked out there on the internet for fucking hackers to use. Because like, oh, look at all this personal information that this company just sold about this guy. Now I have access to it. You see the issue?
Yeah.
How far back does your digital footprint go that you remember, that you're
Yeah.
even aware of, right? Because what if an AI is like, hey, I want you to pinpoint this user's history based on all the websites they visit, so I can get a fucking psychological report. Like, hey, this guy goes to Amazon, he buys a lot of this stuff, or you see where I'm going. It's like they can use your data to pretty much make a psych profile of you and then use it against you. And it's some creepy shit, right? So it's like, do you trust the government? No. Do you trust your own city not to fuck with your privacy? No. Oh yeah, here's the worst one.
I know who knows where I'm at.
Hmm.
The advertising algorithms.
Oh yeah,
On
they know where you're at.
Facebook, okay? Because I could do a search on Google for whatever, and if I go jump on Facebook, all of a sudden I'm seeing ads about something that I just researched on Google.
Oh, I
It's
got one worse
because
for you, Jack.
Isn't it funny how that works?
What
no,
about
it's
AI
because
makes
of
sure
the.
it takes from you? You hear about
No,
that one, guys?
Hold on. It's Jack. It's mainly because of the terms and conditions that you've
Yeah,
accepted
you press
from
the yeah.
Facebook.
Oh yeah.
You
So
accept
when you create a Facebook account, you accept the terms and conditions. It allows them to have access to your microphone, your data, your pictures, your videos, basically everything. So
can
when you
decline it.
type in something on your Google, the Facebook application can track that information and give you ads on Facebook for what you searched. And it happens across, and it's not just for Facebook. It'll happen with X. It'll
Oh
happen
yeah.
with TikTok. It'll happen with any platform that you use
Yeah.
as social
Oh,
media.
yeah. The friggin' Weather Channel.
Yep.
Yep.
I go to check the weather and I'm seeing ads for shit that I just was, looking for somewhere else. So,
Yep.
yeah, they know where you're at. They know what you're up to and what you like.
Also,
And
I had a final tip. Don't post up close personal photos of yourself because I was researching online, yada yada. So pretty much a YouTuber I watched posted a video, and he was reading a report about how a cop came to a woman's house and was accusing her of committing a crime because he saw video footage of what appears to looks like her to be committing a crime. But guess what? It's AI generated footage. So the thing is that someone will use all your 2000 fucking Facebook photos to create an AI face version of you, add it to someone committing a crime, a perfect version.
AI fake version.
Yeah, and as time goes on, it's only going to get more accurate, and then it's
No,
going to be
and
like, wait,
that's
I didn't
actually
commit that crime. But that's my point, though.
now with AI, it might get harder for crimes to be proven or disproven. To be completely honest,
Yeah, either way, because it can go either way. But that's the point, though, is that how can you prove that you didn't commit a crime last night, Jack?
You gotta check the metadata.
The metadata, unless that's forged, because I don't know, because when we take a picture, it sometimes says what phone, what brand, what your location, like that type of metadata, unless it's scrubbed. And again, it goes back to who the fuck has the IT skills. You need to know how technology works in order to do all this. But guess what? Most people in Stockton don't have access to this type of education. I'm lucky I'm learning this shit, right? But it's like people don't know the type of shit that we know, right? So that's why they're at a disadvantage. That's why I'm letting you guys know ahead of time is that AI can be a friend, but someone's going to use it to be your enemy. So
Exactly, guys. So remember, make friends with the AIs because the AIs will help you. No, I'm
it's
kidding.
literally AI versus AI. That's going to be the future. It's going to be AI to prove that this AI is retarded. So it's a battle.
Make friends with Gemini, Grok, Chat GPT, the Meta AI. Make friends with all the AIs that are out there. Maybe they can all help save you and protect you from all the bad stuff that's
maybe they'll be nice and they want to terminate you when they take over the world like Skynet or Terminator.
And always be cognizant and be able to prove where you're at, what you did, where you just came from. If you went to a store, hang on to your receipt before the cops knock at your door and say, "Hey, we got you on video committing this murder over here." It's like, "Oh no, I was at Walmart at that hour. Check it out." Be able to cover your ass in case.
Actually, if you guys really think about it, and if the videos that Tesla have dropped are accurate, and the Tesla bot now can talk, Tesla has, in essence, created a toddler, basically, because it may not be able to perform certain functions, but it has AI that literally talks to you and can tell you, like, can interact with you and have a conversation with you, and it is learning, right? You are teaching it how to function. So that being said, we're just a few years away from maybe having these things being mass produced, and we're living in a real iRobot movie type of civilization.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's spooky.
robots
You better
taking
save
over
your money.
jobs.
Better prepare, because it's like when universal basic income comes, that means that you can't make any more money than what the government decides to give you.
Yeah.
See, that's why you got. Okay, I'll put it like this: the guy who makes money during the gold rush is the guy who was selling the shovels, not the guy who was going to go search for the gold, right?
Yeah, that's like one of the oldest sayings in the book.
But most people never read the book.
It never gets old though.
Yeah, so sell
But
the
then
fucking
you got
AI.
the investors who bought stock in the gold mining company that's actually digging it up out of the ground. So there's that too to think about. All right, guys, let's put a wrap on this here. It was a good conversation tonight. Okay, Scotty, anything you're going to plug?
Nah, yeah, I want to plug support City Uncensored for the raw, gritty, uncensored truth, and that real gritty, down to earth journalism, because that's pretty much what I like to call it, what we're doing, pretty much talking about the real shit, and Shitty Mob Productions, because those guys are like all the cool pop culture, business aspect, fucking what's it called, economy, like Alex was saying with what's it called, like cryptocurrency. It's like if you want to get in the know, they're the know. That's
Yeah.
my plug.
Yeah. Hey.
Get with the times, baby, because
Yeah.
fucking radio cable is fucking outdated, right? Everyone's got an internet connection, right? So get with the times or get left behind, right?
Absolutely. Okay, Nelson, anything we're going to plug?
Yeah, guys, go check out Sonic Wave Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, starring J-Man Jack, King NPV, Alex the Man Angela, featuring Scotty Tuhawti, whatever he's available. And yeah, guys, go check out anyone from the End Zone, Shady Mob Podcast, Shady Mob Productions. Check out all our new platforms. We're on Kick now. We're on Twitch. We're basically following in what J-Man Jack has done with his channel and just being everywhere just to force us down your throat. So please hit that like, please hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. And always remember, desire is power. If you desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Back to you, J-Man.
Desire is the fire. Let it burn.
Let it burn.
All righty. Okay. Thank you for all that watched. Again, hit the like button, subscribe. It's free and helps us out a lot. And yeah, if you're feeling generous, up there in the right-hand corner at QR code, you can buy us a coffee. All right. We greatly appreciate it. You know, we do our best to come here, give you folks some entertainment and some information, and hopefully leave you with a good feeling. So that being said, we shall return next week, hopefully back into a little bit more of a happier groove. You know, again, this is a brutal week. It is what it is, but you know, we will persevere, and hopefully our city can get their fucking heads out of their ass and get their shit together and get our cops a contract, and you know, let's do something about getting this goddamn gun violence, you know, out of the picture if we can at all. So that being said, sayonara.
Hit the like button.